live stream. So this is my first stream on my channel actually. And good day or good evening to everyone, depending on your time zone. I know that we're very international at my channel and my audience is from different parts of the world. But what is common for everyone is that most of you are interested in traveling to Russia, in the Russian culture and Russian language. And as this is my first live stream on this channel, I've decided to make it as useful and as informative as possible. So we're gonna talk about traveling to Russia, and I'm gonna give you the information which will help you to come here and to make the best out of your trip and out of your time in Russia. So today we will discuss how to travel in Russia, right? How to enjoy your time here and the most useful vocabulary when you arrive to Russia and if you want to communicate to the locals. So our plan for today's stream, I'm gonna talk about it just a minute later, but before, let me know in the comments where in Russia would you like to travel to, which places and which cities you would like to visit first, like what are your top places in your desire, in your wish list. And I will be able to see if you can hear me well, if you can see me well. So answer this question and let me know where exactly in Russia you would like to travel to. I will be going to Tomsk for language program. Nice! Tomsk is actually known as a city of students, so there will be lots of young people and you will be able to enjoy Tomsk, I'm sure, especially the language program. So yeah, Moscow, Petersburg, of course. You cannot go to Russia and not visit these places. Volgograd, nice. I haven't been there, but know that that's a very nice city. Yekaterinburg, I was there this month, enjoyed it a lot. Nice. So many cool places. So I guess that you can hear me, you can see me, and we can proceed. So plan for today's stream. At first, we're gonna talk about visa as I get so many comments of how to get a visa to Russia. Also, we're gonna talk about safety here, payments, how to pay in different places like restaurants, cafes, anywhere, about SIM cards, which SIM card to get in Russia. Then we're gonna talk about traveling within Russia. If you would like to visit not one city only, but to travel in this big country, because you can't go to Russia and just visit one city. It's the biggest country in the world, so I suppose that you would like to visit as many places here as possible. And then a teacher, a Russian language teacher, Alena, and I believe that she is one of the best in Russia in this field. She is gonna join us and she will talk about the most useful vocabulary at the airport, taxi, and in the city. So that's also very important. We're gonna start with visa stuff because so many people ask me how to get a visa to Russia. Guys, I'm not the Russian embassy, so I can't tell you which documents exactly you need to get a Russian visa because it's different for every single country. So you need to go to the Russian embassy of your country, find out all the details, make sure that you have all the documents and then you apply for a Russian visa. By the way, I was surprised when I heard that it's difficult for foreign people to get a visa to Russia because Russians struggle to get a visa to the US, for example. It's easy for us to get a visa to many, many countries, but kind of difficult to get a visa to the US. And I know many people who apply so many times. They spend so much money, but they can't get a visa to the US, especially young girls can't get a visa to the US because I guess their government thinks that this Russian girl want to move there and they will never come back to Russia or whatever. But I know these statistics that young women in Russia can't get a visa to the US. I mean, it's difficult for them. But yeah, I was surprised that many people text me that it's difficult to get a visa to Russia. Let me know in the comments which country you're from and is it difficult for you to get a visa to Russia? By the way, here I wrote some countries which don't need a visa to Russia. For example, the former Soviet Union countries, now CIS countries, they don't need a visa to Russia if they're here for up to 90 days. For example, also Brazil, Chile, Peru, Venezuela, they can be in Russia up to 90 days as well without a visa. Same for Russians to go to Brazil, for example. And I was surprised that, for example, Russians can go to Morocco and they don't need a visa, but Moroccans need a visa to Russia. Because I thought that if Russians don't need a visa, then Moroccans also don't need a visa. But I guess it doesn't work both ways. So also, I mean, always check information on the website of the Russian embassy of your country is completely different for every single country. So it's not me who you should be asking this question to, but the embassy in your country. Next. This question is very popular both on my channel, on the internet overall. You can see this Google search, is Russia safe to travel? Is Russia safe for American tourists, for Indian students, etc.? I guess this stereotype and this question is popular because of the former Soviet Union times when Russia wasn't that safe as now. And many people have this image of Russia as a dangerous, unwelcoming country. And I worked abroad, I studied abroad, and I know and I have many foreign friends, and they were always so shocked when I told them that it's totally safe in Russia, you can travel here, you can live a normal life. And they were so surprised and told me, really? I thought that Russia is such a dangerous place. And after meeting me, they were like, and after I showed them some pictures, I talked about Russia, they wanted to come to travel to Russia. And actually that's why I have my channel, because I like to break these stereotypes, because Russia is wrongly perceived in different countries, or people know very few information about it or don't know nothing about it. So there are many these stereotypes that it's unwelcoming country. Well, it would be ignorant to say that any country in the world is 100% safe. Even if you take some country which is top one country in the ranking of the most safe, of the safest countries in the world. But you know what I mean? You can find yourself in a wrong place, in a wrong time. And even if it's the safest country in the world, anything can happen. You can travel to Yemen and come back safe and happy. Or you can go to Australia or the US and you can be robbed at the street. Anything can happen. So it's wrong to say that any country is safe. But Russia overall, I would say that it's a safe country now, especially if you are traveling in Moscow or St. Petersburg, you won't have any problems. Other cities as well. And you will notice that people here, they walk in the streets relaxed. They can walk with their phone like this, do something on their phone, call somebody, take pictures on their camera. And I'm talking about this because I have many places to compare to. I've lived in Vietnam, I've lived in India, and there, in Morocco as well, and there I was told many times by my friends who are locals that, Ellie, but you can just take your phone like this. You can just hold your phone like this in the street. Please put it in your bag, and please take your bag like this, because anyone can take your phone away from your hands, so you don't do that. And yeah, I noticed how different these kind of things about phones or cameras are. And in Russia overall, people are relaxed and they're not so intention that someone will rob them. But of course, you always and always need to pay attention to what's happening around you, and not to just do something in your phone and not to see anything. So always pay attention, so that you make sure that no one puts their hands in your bag, in your purse, wallet, etc. Also, it depends on the district of the city. Yeah, if you're in the center of Moscow, even if it's night, you will be safe because there will be so many people around. You've probably heard that Moscow never sleeps. So there will be a lot of people and you will feel completely safe. But again, if you go to some area of Moscow which is far from the city center and there will be no one, probably there will be no lights, the lanterns, it will be less safe. Okay, so you always need to make sure which districts you go to or which areas you don't go to. It's same as in any city of the world. Would that be Berlin, Paris? Would that be New York? It depends on the district of the city, right? Let me know what it's like in your city where you're at now. Also, you will see lots of policemen in the streets, so that also makes you feel safe. And as a foreigner, please make sure that you always carry your passport with visa and immigration card. I wouldn't say that they always ask for these things to foreigners, but it's better if you carry them with you. So if they would like to check anything, you have them and everything is all right. So far, guys, do you have any questions? Write them all in the comments and I will try to answer them. Oh, and I've added this slide because it seemed funny to me. So this is a screenshot from the website of the US government, and they wrote this travel advisory. It happened not a long time ago on June 29th this summer, and it says that's a warning to American citizens, okay? And they say, and this is official website of the government, don't travel to the North Caucasus, including Chechnya and Mount Elbrus, due to terrorism, kidnapping, and risk of civil unrest. Crimea, due to Russia's purported occupation of the Ukrainian territory and abuses by its occupying authorities. I was shocked by this because only 2 months ago, I actually traveled in the Caucasus. I went to Mount Elbrus and there was nothing like terrorism or kidnapping or something like that. And I don't know why they write this information. And I think that overall, the Caucasus was pretty much safe as any other provincial cities of Russia. And yeah, I traveled to Mount Elbrus myself, and I'm going actually there once more this August. Many of my friends spend time in Crimea now, so I don't know why they say don't travel to under any circumstances. So there is still these stereotypes, I believe. And you can also let me know in the comments what you've heard about the Caucasus, because that's pretty interesting to know what they say about it abroad. Because I know that regions as Dagestan, they were pretty unsafe, but that was also a long time ago. But now those are usual cities, and Caucasus actually is a very underestimated spot of travel to Russia. It is so rich with nature, with places to see, so beautiful. And I'm coming back there because I was so impressed by its beauty, by the mountains. So I would actually advise to travel to Mount Elbrus. And if you are scared of anything, of course, you should take the services of some travel agency, and they will make sure that everything will be well. They will book a hotel for you, they will do everything. And if you travel with a travel agency, they will take care of you. But this warning was just funny for me, so I've decided to include it here. So the next point, many ask me, can I pay by a card in Russia or there is cash only? Mostly all Russians now use credit cards. We almost don't use cash because it's less convenient. And also due to coronavirus, so credit cards are accepted pretty much everywhere, in big cities, in small cities as well, even in the villages, I would say. You can also pay with the Apple Pay. I'm not sure what it's called, but not on iPhone only, but with any phone you can just do this like a Pay Pass, and you can pay if your credit card is connected to your phone. But again, if you go to some smaller towns, sometimes in restaurants, for example, you will not be able to use the card, so have some cash with you as well. But in Moscow, St. Petersburg, I would say in 90% of places, you will be able to use your credit card and you wouldn't need any cash. I've heard though that Americans, I don't know about other countries, but I heard that Americans, they had troubles by paying with their card online. So for example, you're paying for airplane tickets, for some museum, theater performance, and you want to pay by your card. I heard that the payment wouldn't proceed. So probably you can ask your Russian friends to pay for you, and then you can transfer them money or give them cash. But overall, if you're just paying in the shop and at the restaurant, and your card is in dollars, euros, or any other currency, it will be paid automatically by rubles. So you don't need to do anything with your card. You can pay by a foreign card, whether it's the MasterCard or a Visa, you're able to use any of them. And also a recommendation, inform your bank in advance about your travels to Russia, because if you start spending lots of money in Russia, your card will note this as a suspicious activity. So, for example, in my app, in my Russian credit card, I can always say where I will be if I'm going to another country. So they will not block my card as a suspicious activity. So if you do this, you will make sure that your bank in your country will not block your card in Russia. And this is actually advice if you go to any country, not to Russia only. And if you're here for a longer time, maybe you're a student or you want to live here for a longer period of time, you will probably want to have a Russian credit or debit card. And if you ask which card is better, I would propose you these two options. And the one on the left that you can see, which says Sberbank, it's the biggest bank of Russia. And I believe that every single Russian uses this card. So if you make this card, if you create this card at their bank, that would be a great option, because that's what all locals do, and if locals do, it means that it's the best one. And also I added this one, Tinkoff. Now it's an online bank, and it's really cool because you don't need to go anywhere. They don't have offices. It's a totally online bank, and now also many people use it. And the cool thing about it is that you will be able to withdraw money at any ATM of any bank. It might be Sberbank, it might be not Sberbank, any other bank. It will be without commission. So this is the cool feature about them, that you can withdraw money at any ATM, even if it's not the ATM of their bank, but there will be no commission. And their app is super convenient. Sberbank's app is also super convenient. So if you choose any of these two options, you will be good. There are, of course, many other banks, but these are main two, and the one on the left is like which every single Russian has. Next one, also a very frequent question, is which SIM card to buy when you arrive to Russia. So these three are the main companies. MTS, remember this logo with the egg? Then Megafon and Beeline, like a B. So you can choose any of these three. If you arrive to the airport or to the city and you see, for example, Megafon, but you can't find MTS, you can take Megafon. If you can't find Beeline, you can buy MTS. Any of these three would be good because they have good rates, good prices, and almost all Russians would use these three, so any of this would be good. For example, I use the one on the left, which is MTS. The connection is good in any cities. Before, as you may know, there are 85 regions in Russia. I believe several years ago there was this roaming. When you went from one region to another, you would have to pay more for for phone services. But now for the whole country, the rate is common, so you would not need to pay more if you are traveling between regions. For example, you buy MTS, you go to any region, and the charge will be the same. So this is MTS, the one that I use. You can find rates for $6, like almost $7, yeah, and for $9. I don't know if that's expensive for you or not, because that's very relative. For example, I have the rate, which is on the very right, for $9. And for that, I get unlimited internet for a month, which means I can watch YouTube videos, I can be on Google Maps, social media, I can call, unlimited, I believe. I can send messages. So it's like all included. So I have the most expensive rate because I use internet a lot and I like to watch YouTube videos. So if you need a lot of internet, choose this one. The one for $7, for example, has 20 gigabytes, and the one for $6 has 5 gigabytes. So just choose the one which you think will be better for you. Okay, guys, let me know in the comments when you're planning to travel to Russia. And where are you from? I want to see how international we are, and why you've decided to join our live stream. When are you planning to go to Russia? If you're planning to travel here like in a week, then you are very, very lucky to see this stream, because basically at this stream I've gathered all the information that you need when you arrived to the country, like not some information from the internet, but something that a local knows. There is a lot of misleading or outdated information on the internet, right? So it's kind of difficult to find the most useful information that you need when you arrive to the country. So I've decided to talk about my experience because I'm a local here, I was born here, I've lived here for many years, and now I also travel a lot in Russia, so I decided to share this information. Now I'm gonna see your comments. So from Michigan, USA, I will travel to Russia when they get COVID under control. I see. Now in Moscow, there are almost no restrictions. Oh, actually from this Monday, there are no restrictions. A week before, you could only go to the restaurant, eat at the restaurant if you had a QR code which proves that you are vaccinated. And you could, if you didn't have this QR code, you could only eat outside of the restaurant. But from this Monday, there are no restrictions again. What's the situation like at your place? Let me know. Someone says, I spend $400 per month in the US. Do you mean for the SIM card? That's crazy. I thought that $9 is expensive because my friend told me like, what? You pay $9? I pay like $5. Alina, why do you use so much internet, etc.? I want to travel to Russia next year in the summer. Cool. Where can we get a COVID test in Moscow, St. Petersburg? Oh, you can get it at any medical center, at any hospital, and also upon your arrival to Russia at the airport. I think that's very convenient to get it at the airport. The prices, I think they would be the same, and you get the results in 2 hours by email. So you arrive to the airport, then you go to the city, and you get the results so fast. I'm going to Russia to study when COVID in my country is under control. Yeah, now everything is like this. Depends on the COVID and when all these restrictions are will be, I forgot the word in English, cancelled. Yeah. How do Americans get this QR code? Well, if you're vaccinated, you can show the certificate that you were vaccinated and they will let you in. Traveling this October. Wow, cool, that's very soon. Okay, let's proceed because this information, as I said, would be super helpful for anyone who is planning to travel here. So basically, you watch this stream and you're good to go to Russia. So, if you are planning to travel in Russia, and of course you have to, because yes, you can start with Moscow and St. Petersburg. Those places are must visit. You can't travel to Russia and not go to Moscow and St. Petersburg. Please don't do that because these cities are really amazing. I really love them. But also you should travel to other cities as well, not only these 2 cities. You probably heard that Moscow isn't Russia, yeah? So if you want to see the real life, Moscow is also Russia, of course, but if you want to see how people live in smaller cities, not in the capital only, you go to other cities as well. So the amount of historical and cultural cities is mind-blowing, and you can spend a month in each city and you will still not cover all the attractions. So don't limit yourself only to Moscow or St. Petersburg. So if you wonder how to get from one city to another, you can use wait, I forgot to tell you something. So places, if you wonder which places to visit, I would advise these ones. For example, the Golden Ring of Russia. It includes 8 cities. So you make this like a circle, a ring, and you visit the most beautiful cities of the Golden Ring. They are super beautiful and very historical. Their architecture is very beautiful, so just Google the Golden Ring of Russia and you will see which cities to go to. Also Lake Baikal, of course. I would advise to go there in winter because you can ice skate on this ice and experience winter in Siberia. That might sound scary, winter in Siberia, but actually it is so cool. I went there this winter and ice skating on the ice of the deepest lake in the world, one of the biggest lakes of Russia. It was so cool because you're ice skating, you can see all these bubbles of the ice, the bottom of the lake, and the lake is infinite. So you're ice skating from one island to another, and the ice is so smooth. I was shocked. So really, you should really do that. Also Caucasus, as I said, Mount Elbrus, so beautiful. Altai, those are mountains, geysers, really natural, very beautiful. Kamchatka, also very natural. People go there on helicopters to see the volcano craters, the bears. You will be able to see the bears, and some cities like Sochi, which is the south of Russia. And even if you go there in winter, it will be probably plus 15, plus 20 there, because that's one of the warmest cities of Russia, and Russians always go there for relaxing, to take some rest, for holidays. So if you like this kind of beach vacation, beach, the sea, this kind of vibes, go to Sochi. And there are also mountains and different waterfalls, also lots of nature. And in winter you can go skiing in these mountains as well, so lots of places to see there. Also Kazan and Yekaterinburg, these two cities are unofficially named the third capital of Russia, and they kind of fight for this title, which one is the third capital of Russia. They are both very beautiful. I traveled to both. Kazan is a capital of region named Tatarstan. So Tatars, which is another nationality in Russia, they live there. There are two official languages, Russian and Tatar. So everywhere you will hear people speak Russian and also Tatar, and the signs also will be in two languages. And the city is very beautiful, very modern, and this is, I believe, one of the richest regions of Russia. Yekaterinburg, the city which I went this month, is located in the Urals, so there are many national parks, the Ural Mountains, and Yekaterinburg is the fourth largest city of Russia, so also beautiful. This list is not exhaustive, but those were places that crossed my mind first and where I traveled to, so you should definitely go there. Now, if you plan to travel by airplane, and you will probably want to do that because you know that distance in Russia between cities is huge. Russia occupies a huge territory. If you want to go from Moscow to Vladivostok, I believe, there is this Trans-Siberian train which takes 7 days to go from one part of Russia to another part of Russia. And many foreigners and my international friends tell me, Elena, why don't you do the Trans-Siberian train, the Trans-Siberian trip? I'm gonna admit to you that no Russian want to do this trip. Only foreigners, for some reason, are so excited about this trip in Russia. But no, Russians don't want to do that. Just imagine 7 days sitting in a train. But for some reason, it's exciting for foreign people. But probably I will do that for the sake of the video, or maybe when I'm retired and I'm not so bored to sit in a train for 1 week. but now I don't want to do that. Especially it is so hot right now, and I can't imagine how hot it is in the train. Uh, Russian trains were known as very particular because people there uh, not always very how to say that, they're not always too kind, I would say, and they do what they want and they don't really respect your space, so they would be loud. At night, many people would snore. They would eat these noodles all the time, which smell for the whole couch of the train. So lots of stuff like this, but it's fun. Yeah, that's a lot of fun to go by a train. And the route, by the way, will be very beautiful. This summer, I went from Yekaterinburg to my hometown Perm by a train. I actually filmed a vlog there, which will be up on the channel soon, or not soon, because I have to edit so many videos, guys. And I filmed it, so in my vlog you will be able to see what it's like to travel in the train, and you will be able to make a decision if you want to do that or not. But if you travel by airplane, which is the fastest option, sometimes it's cheaper, sometimes it's the same price. Of course, in most cases, the train would be cheaper, but airplane is not so expensive as well. On this slide, you can see the main companies which Russians use to travel within Russia. Aeroflot, which is the most famous, I would say the most expensive, which provides the best service. And also, if you fly from your country, I know that many people would also use Aeroflot. For example, there are direct flights from New York to Russia or some other cities. Another companies are UTair, Ural Airlines, S7 Airlines. They are all good. And Победа, which is a low-coster. This one is the cheapest airplane company in Russia. And I would say that this company is fine, but please pay attention to all the details that are written in your electronic ticket when you buy a ticket from Победа, because they have so many these details about the luggage, of the measurements of your bags and everything. And if your bag is bigger for 5 centimeters or something, they will charge you a lot of money. So they are low coster, but if you pay this extra cost, they will cost as much as Aeroflot, for example, or some other company, or even more expensive. So I name them these tricks that they put this detail with small letters, you know, when you buy a ticket. So read everything carefully, read everything that is included in the price of your ticket. And if you pay attention to all the details, I would say that this company is the cheapest. So you can use that as well if you travel in Russia or maybe to some other countries. It's an international airline as well. The cheapest tickets you can find on the websites of these companies. So just type on the internet Aeroflot, UTair, and find the tickets. Or you can also use the websites that I put on the right, Aviasales or Skyscanner. And there you can compare the prices for all the airlines. So for example, you're looking for a ticket from Moscow, let's say, to St. Petersburg. And you look for such tickets on Aviasales, and there you can see which tickets are the most, which companies, airlines are the most convenient, the cheapest. And then you can go to the website of the company and book a ticket there because it will be the cheapest option to buy on the official website of the airline company. So yeah, that was about the airplane companies. Now, if you want to travel by train, go to RZD website, which is I think the only company in Russia for trains. Just type in Russian railways, as you see on the slide, or ing.rzd.ru, and you will find their tickets. So this company is the main company for all the trains in Russia. So just go on their website and find the tickets from your city to the destination, find the best time, and you will see two options. You can go by coupe. I believe in English it's compartment, right? I'm not sure. I translated by Google Translate. Let me know in the comments, by the way. Do you have such word coupe? Coupe. It's basically the closed area where there are beds, like one bed where there are the first and the second floor and another one. So 4 people in this compartment, and you're closed from anyone else. So you have this private area. And the second option is Platskart, or a reserved seat, which is the common dormitory type, which you can use in order to go for a shorter period of time, or some people use Platskart even if they go for longer trips. Platskart would be the cheapest option, of course. Now let me see something here. Let me know, by the way, what you think about traveling in Russia by train. Would you like to do that? Are you adventurous and brave enough to do that? Please visit Stalingrad someday. I really want to see what the city looks like. Yeah, I want to visit many cities to make vlogs there. We only have basic trains with seats in Australia. Oh, so you don't have the coupe compartment type, you mean, yeah? Probably because no, Australia is actually a very big country, so the distance between cities is huge. I get motion sickness, so the Trans-Siberian train isn't for me. But the sickness, I thought that you get it in the car. In the trains, not really, because they're kind of smooth. Because when I was a child, I got this sickness a lot, but not in the trains. So I'm surprised to hear this. The attraction of the train is just to cover all the ground. Yeah, the locals never have these dream to do Trans-Siberian. I heard this only from foreigners. Train sure, wouldn't mind trying, but not for 7 days. 1 day ride, yeah, you can go from Moscow to St. Petersburg, for example, or from Moscow to Sochi, but that would probably take 2 days or something like that. Voli diretti da Roma a Mosca, Lifa, Победа e Aeroflot. See, I mean, yeah, they say that Победа is 2 times cheaper than Aeroflot. It's true, and as I said, Победа is the cheapest airline, and you can use it if you want to make this budget trip. It will be totally fine, but again, please check all the details, because sometimes I had really bad situations with this air company, but that was probably my mistake as well, because I didn't read these small letters in the electronic ticket. Now, I have this kind of life hack to you if you're traveling from Moscow to St. Petersburg or vice versa, because many tourists want to visit these 2 cities. So I wouldn't advise you to fly by airplane because you need to arrive to the airport in advance. Then you need to spend time in the air, and then you arrive to the airport, and then you have to drive to the city, which is gonna take a lot of time. But Moscow and St. Petersburg are not located that far. The bus or a normal train would probably be up to 10 hours. But if you use this train, which is called Sapsan train, this is the fastest train in Russia. And here I made a screenshot, and you can see that you can arrive from Moscow to St. Petersburg in 3 hours and a half, or maximum in 4 hours. So this is super convenient. And also it's very cool to use this train, and they also have a very beautiful Sapsans, which are like decorated and everything, and they're super fast. And their cost is from $40 to $50. So yeah, if you go from Moscow to St. Petersburg or vice versa, I would strongly advise this Sapsan train just to see these cool trains, and also that's the fastest and not a very expensive option to go from one city to another. And also, if you would like to charge your phone while you are in a train, or not in a train only, while you are in Russia, and this relates to Americans, as I know that many Americans are watching this live stream, make sure that you take the adapter, because the socket is different here in Russia and in Europe. On the left picture, you can see what the socket is like in Russia. And the second picture is kind of the adapter that you will need to have. Europeans wouldn't need any adapter, but for Russians, I had to have an adapter in Europe sometimes. I don't know why, because my phone's charger would always fit in any sockets in Europe, but my computer's charger wouldn't always fit. That was weird. But for the US, Russians, of course, need an adapter, and same for Americans. So please don't forget an adapter when you come to Russia. Now, also, people ask me if it's safe to drink tap water in Russia. And I would say that it's advisable to buy bottled drinks, especially in bigger cities. No, not only in bigger cities, anywhere. I would advise you to buy bottled drinks, because I know a friend of mine, she's French, and she got poisoned in Moscow because she only drank the tap water. I have to say that sometimes I drink the tap water here in Moscow, but I don't advise this to you. But if you go to some cities, for example, Pyatigorsk, and this is the city of mineral waters, so their water is known to be super clean. Or if you go to Baikal, there you can drink water from the tap, and you will drink like literally the cleanest water in the whole world. And this one is just something that I wanted to add, is that in Russia you should try Mineralka. It's mineral water, and I didn't see this mineral water much in any other country. Like, I see the still water and gas, how sparkled water, the water with the gas, but I don't see much mineral water. In Russia, this is so popular, and this is kind of a bit salty water from the springs in the Caucasus or other places of Russia. And it's very popular, it's super healthy, and it's really cool to try. And I always give it to try to my foreign friends here, and they like it, and they're very refreshing. Also, we have lots of water, mineral water here from Georgia. And Georgian food is also very popular in Russia, and this Mineralka. So when you come to Russia, just try it. I think that you will love it. That's just the fact that I wanted to add. So, by the way, let me know in the chat of our stream if you drink tap water in your city. Is it safe to do that in your hometown? Most of the cities use chlorine in city water to clean water. Yes, but I think this chlorine isn't good to drink, right? Yeah. Are there high-speed trains between St. Petersburg and Moscow? Yeah, I talked about this. The train is named Sapsan. I drink tap water in Germany here. Yeah, that's what I said. I drink it in Moscow too, but rare. Only if I didn't have time to take the water. I take it sometimes from the spring here to the big bottles, or I buy a bottled water. London water is yeah, keep going. One day I'll achieve all your goals. Okay. Yeah, not safe to drink tap water in New York City. Yeah, tap water in the US is safe. So I guess it depends on the city, right? Okay, next point that I want to discuss is what should you pack when you come to Russia? Of course, it depends on the season, and not on the season only, but always look at the forecast because weather in Russia changed a lot, and we have really different summers and winters. For example, last summer, as we call it, we almost didn't have summer because it was so cold. Everyone was complaining that we don't have summer. It was probably plus 15, plus 16, sometimes I think even plus 10, and we were in warm jackets. Yeah, and I remember that it was so cold. But this summer is called the longest in Russia because already for, I think, a month, we have extremely hot weather, like plus 35, plus 40. The weather in Moscow right now, you can see on my phone, oh wait, plus 24 right now, and here's the forecast. So we're gonna have 26 tomorrow, and now it's cooler actually because the last weeks were plus 40 and everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's too hot, it's impossible to be here. So as I wrote in this slide, the weather can go up to plus 40, which is 104 Fahrenheit. And in winter, it can go down to minus 40. It depends on the city, of course. In Oymyakon, I believe the weather can be minus 60. Whoa. Yeah, in some cities it can be minus 50. I lived in the Urals when I was a child. Before I was 17, I lived there, and there it could be minus 40, and kids wouldn't go to school unless it's more than minus 30. So if it was minus 29, we would go to school, and I still remember that you have to put your scarf like this, the ushanka, cover everything, everything, and it's windy, and you're like going to your school and trying to overcome this wind, and you're a small child, and yeah, that was tough. But everything is not that scary. In Moscow, the weather is not that extreme in winter. It's probably minus 20, minus 25, but usually it can be minus 10, minus 15. So always check the weather forecast and make sure that you take clothes that are suitable for that kind of weather. If you are coming in summer, I would advise you to take some warm jackets as well, because it can be hot, and in several days the weather can be plus 15, plus 10, and that's the temperature when you need some jackets, something warm. So make sure that you pack everything so that you will be able to enjoy your trip here. Another question is, do I have to learn Russian in order to travel to Russia, or I would be good in English? Actually, I would say that you do. Not a lot of people in Russia speak English, even in Moscow. You probably watch my videos where I interview people in the streets. In one video, I was very lucky. Almost all the girls, it was a video about why girls would like to date foreigners, I believe. Almost all of them spoke English, but I was just lucky, and maybe because they were students. But even in Moscow, not so much people speak Russian. And if you go to other cities, there will be much, much fewer people. And also, I highly recommend you to learn the Cyrillic alphabet because you will see lots of signs. For example, exit. You can see here выход. Yeah. Sometimes there won't be this English translation, and it will be just выход. And if you need to find the exit, you should know these letters. Or for example, the names of the streets. Sometimes there is no English translation. And in the restaurants and cafes, the English menu, you can probably find it in Moscow, St. Petersburg sometimes. In other cities, I would say that it's not that popular. And even here in Moscow, there is not the translation always. So make sure that you learn at least some basics of the Cyrillic alphabet. And there is a myth that it's super difficult to learn it, that it looks like some secret code, like what is this? It's impossible to learn these letters. But actually, I've heard that most learners can learn the Cyrillic alphabet like in 2 to 5 days. It depends on how hard you study. Or you can even learn it while you are traveling here during your flight. It just for several hours you take the Cyrillic alphabet, and even in few hours you can learn the basics, and you will already be able to understand these letters and signs at least. Let me know if you know how to read in Russian, if you know the Cyrillic alphabet. Wow, someone is writing here in Russian. I learned to read Cyrillic in less than a month. Wow, that's actually a long time. You're obviously accustomed to cold weather, but when summer temperatures are hotter and hotter, how do you feel? That's awful here. You should note that most buildings in Russia, they are not equipped with the AC. We have houses that are very well equipped for winters. And in fact, it's very hot here in winter, and Russians usually are in a t-shirt and shorts when it's winter because the heating is so strong. But in summer, we don't usually have the AC, so it's very hot in the houses. And this summer was super tough for me because it's very hot. So yeah, you should know that we usually don't have the AC. And when Russians travel abroad, for example, to the US, they always complain that why is it so hot in the street? And then I go to the restaurant, to someone's house, to the bank or anywhere, and it's too cold there. Like, why do they do that? All Russians complain about this because they don't like the AC. We're not really used to that. And you will be able to see lots of comments or anything on social media where Russians complain about the US or Dubai, for example, where they have this strong AC, and Russians are scared to get cold. But also they complain that in Europe, for example, it's too cold in the apartments in winter because we're used for a very strong heating. It can be -40, -50 outside, but inside you will be in a t-shirt and shorts because it's very hot. We even open the windows in winter. So I will die in minus 40 degrees. Actually, if you have the right clothes, you shouldn't be scared of these temperatures in Russia. The most important thing is just to have the right clothes. If you have the right pants, many layers, the right coat, the right hat, winter hat, you will be fine. And actually, I think for me, it's easier to bear the cold weather. If it's cold, you can put on many layers. If it's hot, you can't do anything. It's just too hot and there is no AC. Okay. Now, Alena, who is a teacher in our Russian-speaking club. She's gonna join us. I'm waiting for her now. She's gonna join like in several minutes. I've just texted her. And you probably know Alena. I talked about her in some of my videos. She is a teacher in the Russian-speaking club that I organize, which you can actually join. And in our Russian-speaking club, it starts on August 2nd. We have a community of those who would like to learn Russian, probably for studying here, probably because you are interested in the Russian language just as a hobby, or maybe because you will travel here and you need to learn Russian. So basically, it's gonna be 3 weeks course, and it will be a chat where we will have all the participants, where everyone will be able to practice with each other. And we will send guides and materials there every day with the most useful vocabulary for different situations. So for traveling, at the restaurant, for the university, for example, for any other like most useful situations. We send the vocabulary, the exercises, and you do homework. And what is cool is that the homework is that you have to send the audio message to us, which means that you don't just get this vocabulary and don't practice, but you start practicing right away. So you send the audio message to us and we check it. And also we have speaking sessions via Zoom. So you will have these calls with Alena where you discuss these interesting topics, and we always try to make it as interesting as possible. So it's not just some boring grammar, but we take some interesting topics, videos, make it very interactive. And we take topics that you are interested in, we discuss them. And at the speaking session, you practice everything that you've learned during the week. We have them every weekend. And the time for the speaking sessions, we decide by the poll in our chat. So we choose the time on the weekend when the time which is convenient for everyone to join our speaking sessions. So throughout the week, everyone learns this interesting vocabulary with interactive materials, and by exercising, by audio messages, and by other different exercises, watching videos. We have like cool quizzes and tasks. And every weekend we practice everything. And also we have an option where Alena gives you personal support. You have a personal chat with her. And now in the chat, I'm gonna send the link for our Russian speaking club, just in case that someone is interested to learn Russian. Yeah. So you can go to this link or also to the link, it's the same, in the description of this video, and you will be able to join us from any level because we have 3 groups for those who start from scratch, like from the alphabet, if you don't know Russian at all. The second group is for those who know the basics, like you know the Cyrillic alphabet and some basic phrases, and you would like to improve. And the intermediate plus is for those who have a pretty confident level but would like to improve and become fluent in Russian. If you don't know which level you are at now, you can choose any group on this website, and then Alona will help you to choose which level would be better for you. And because you are presenting at this live stream, you are already doing a great job. So you will have this secret code, which is LE10, and it will give you 10% off for any of the group that you join. So you can choose this secret code before next Monday. And we start on August 2nd. So I will be very happy to see any of you from this live stream if you join. So we will have fun, we will talk, we will speak Russian, we will learn some different aspects about the Russian culture, about other things, watch videos together and make some interesting tasks. So yeah, I would be happy to spend some time with you guys and learning this. Now Alona is gonna join us, and I'm gonna put my face here. And just a moment. Hi Alona, you're here.
Hi everybody, I hope everybody is like your stream. So it was really useful, and I hope these tips that help you to be really comfortable in Russian. So hi everybody, my name is Alona. Just let me know if you can see me and can hear me in the chat, because I want to check if everything is okay. So if everything is okay, just text me there. During this time, I can tell you that my name is Alona. I am a Russian teacher for foreign. And today I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to survive in Russia, and is it possible to survive there without Russian, and how Elena already spoke. I think the most important thing for you is learn Cyrillic. Yeah, this is the first step of your success. Of course, nobody gonna tell you that you need to learn all Russian for survive there. Of course not. But if you will learn Cyrillic, it will help you. So, the first question is it possible to survive without Russian language in Russia? So everybody can hear me? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so is it possible to survive in Russia without Russian language? We can, I think, start to answer for this question with you together. Следующий. I think it's not so big deal. So, if you can see, it's все очень просто. That means everything is really easy. Следующее. So, you can think that it's really hard to read like alphabet, how to read it, how to pronounce it. Yes, of course, it can be really challenging. And for the beginning, like you're afraid what is going on and how it works. Oh, I'm here. Okay. So, as you can see on the slide, you can read some of the words. For example, the first word is aeroport. Okay, sounds really familiar with English, like airport. Next is passport. Passport. Passport, the same like in English, passport. Отель. Is it hard? I think it's not so hard. Metro. The most important that you will need in Moscow is metro. Да? Metro. Internet. Internet. Wi-Fi. Everything will be the same, like in English. So, next is address. Address. The same. Address. Everything is really easy. You just need know Cyrillic, and you start read and see that it's not so hard. It's like everything in English. Next, it's bank, центр, кофе, монумент, So you can see that a lot of words is really familiar with English, and now is really popular use English in Russian. So you can listen some words like lol, hate it, like it. Like a lot of words now is really popular in Russian. So some of them you already can find and you can understand and you can talk with the people and it's not a problem. Okay, and next is souvenir. That is easy. Souvenir, souvenir. Theater. So a lot of words is similar as the English. And if you know Spanish, I have really good news for you because Spanish is really familiar with Russian. Like the grammar, pronunciation, some words is really, really similar. So if you know Spanish, it will help. So I think people who live in USA, especially in New York, know how it's important to know Spanish. So I think a lot of people know Spanish now. Okay, следующее. And as you can see, some words can be same and it's not so hard. But need know something that is different, but is really important. Of course, you don't need to know everything in Russian. Okay, so I think, for my opinion, the most important words that you need to know before go to Russia is three magic questions. The first, где? Где? Где mean where. So if you know this word, it means that you can ask где метро, где ресторан, где автобус, где адрес. Да? The same things that you always know. Address, bank, metro, restaurant. If you know где, people will show you. Okay? So, next question is сколько. Сколько or how much. Of course, the most important thing that we need to know in travel is the price for everything, especially if you go to taxi. Be sure for ask the price before you go to some place. Сколько. And I think the last one is что. Что. Ch, together in Russian give us the word что. Что is mean what. Да? For example, someone speak with you and you don't understand, and you can say что, извините, да, что, it's what. So I think it helps. So guys, let me know if you already know some Russian words, like maybe some basic thing, следующее, maybe some words that you know. And is it hard to talk the same words like аэропорт, passport, отель, internet, bank? I think it's not so hard. So if you have like basic logic, it helps. Okay, so and of course, I suggest you to know the greetings. Greetings is the most important. If you know the greeting in some language, it will help you to make some friendship. People will be more friendly with you, and it's also really convenient, of course, if you know. So, if you can see, like from the left side, it's like a small meme, like from France, Syria. You talk здравствуйте. That is здравствуйте. For some people, it's like a horror movie, like здравствуйте, and is reading, okay, so it's time to change the country. No, of course it's hard, but if you will see, like from the slide, we never pronounce, like B in English, we not pronounce. We write it, but we do not pronounce. For example, здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. And I know that it's hard to understand this word, and we have a little trick for help you, for not dive in that really strange consonant together, like vst together. So we have привет, that everybody know, but try to talk привет, not привет, okay? Привет is really important stress in Russian, so be sure you pronounce it right, like since beginning. Okay, so Next one is доброе утро. No? Доброе утро means good morning. In a lot of language, like for example in Spanish, is not exist доброе утро, because people believe that Norse culture is more care about the time because we had less sun. So for us, it's really important to wake up early, to make a lot of job and go and don't have anything at the evening. That's why a lot of Norse culture, like American, European languages, Russian languages, have утро, доброе утро, good morning. Then if you take Spanish, Portuguese, we don't have good morning. We have bom dia, buenos dias. So, доброе утро. Next is добрый вечер. Вечер is easy. Вечер, like a noche in Spanish. Добрый вечер. No? It's the evening. И добрый день. Добрый день. And also доброй ночи. Ночи is also easy for Spanish people, like noches or noche in Portuguese. Доброй ночи. And be careful about the ending of the adjective. As you can see, добрый день вечер, because it's masculine. Доброе утро is the nature, that's why it's on. Okay? We have informal way and we have formal way. Да? Informal is привет, informal way здравствуйте. Okay? So, следующее. And I think the most important, the same some phrases that you always will use. So I think it's important to know, and it's not so hard. It's like 5 words. I think you're able to remember 5 words. And I think the first is пожалуйста. Пожалуйста. We do not pronounce y. That's why пожалуйста, it's really magic words, because пожалуйста is mean please. For example, пожалуйста, кофе. Пожалуйста, вино. Like please coffee, please wine. Или пожалуйста, we also can use as you are welcome. Да? For example, спасибо, you can say thank you, and I will answer for you пожалуйста. It's like de nada or you are welcome. So, пожалуйста, it will be please and you are welcome. So, you remember one word, then you will be more success to learn Russian because it's more easy for you. So, next one is извините. Извините. It means excuse me. Извините. Где метро? Где? We already know where. Извините, excuse me. Метро, метро. Метро, метро. Not problem. Или извините, где банк? The magic of Russian language that we don't have the verb to be, and we don't have special verbs that we need make some special sentence for make the phrase. We just need make intonation. Где метро? This is the question. Okay. Спокойной ночи. Да. Спасибо. Еще не спокойной ночи, еще добрый вечер. Да, следующее. Да. Yes. Да. Нет. No. Да. Нет. It's easy. Следующее. Спасибо. As you can see, it's right спасибо, but you pronounce a, because under stress, they give for us спасибо. Under stress, O is O. Without stress is A. So 90% Russian O is A. Спасибо. And the last one that is most important as an old stereotype about Russia, that you need to go there, drink vodka, I don't know, walk with a beer. I hope you're not from those stereotypes, but this help you. Everybody know на здоровье. На здоровье, but normally we take за здоровье, like we drink for health. За здоровье. Так, следующее. За здоровье. Окей. Yes, you heard Portuguese words. Yes, happened. Так, okay, beginner to intermediate. Um, if you don't understand the meaning of words, you just need to take the most important and learn them because it's hard to understand the meaning without learning them. And especially talk about yourself. Okay, so the next thing that you need to know is some basic words of the place. The first is magazine. Да? Magazine is mean store or shop. You can remember like magazine, where you can buy magazine in a store. So magazine is magazine, store. Следующее это ну, нет, не следующее. Next thing is ресторан, кафе. Easy. Restaurant, cafe. Ресторан, кафе. Ресторан, кафе. Easy. Рынок. Рынок. Those who like culture think is the most important word. Рынок is mean market. Рынок or bazar. Bazar in Portuguese and in Spanish it's like almost same meaning. So базар. Да? Следующее. Аптека. Аптека is like a drugstore where you can find something that you need. Аптека. Да? Следующее. Госпиталь. Госпиталь. Больница. Hospital, everybody understand. Госпиталь. Да? Больница. Synonym. One more magic about Russian that we have a lot of synonyms. If you don't understand one synonyms, we have other. Like больница, we don't know what is this. Госпиталь, hospital. Next one is вокзал. Вокзал is mean terminal. Like, for example, here, ЖД. ЖД is an abbreviature of train terminal. Вокзал, ЖД. And also we have автовокзал. Да? Автовокзал, as you can think, auto. Да? Автовокзал is like everywhere where we can find buses. Автовокзал. And the last one, остановка. Остановка, like stop, bus station. Остановка. Can be остановка, автобусная остановка. But normally it's a bus station or train station. Any station that is stop is остановка. Следующее. The next thing that we will take, of course, we not pronounce everything, but the most important phrases I will give you, and you can just make a screenshot, and it will help you in an airport, train terminal, and in some place that you need to ask about the transport. So the first phrase, сколько, да, сколько, you will спасибо, бабушка, what does mean this? Спасибо. Спасибо is means thank you. Спасибо is important to remember. Да? Бабушка, бабушка, it's a grandmother. It's really popular. And remember that not as бабушка, but бабушка. Бабушка, no. Бабушка, no. Okay, so the next, it's about the phrases. Сколько, we already know from the first. Да? Сколько, it means how much. Сколько стоит. Сколько стоит is mean how much is it. Например, сколько стоит метро? Сколько стоит кофе? Сколько стоит пицца? Okay? Сколько стоит is important. Проезд. Да, проезд it's like fare. Проезд. Проезд. And you can listen. Проезд стоит. 3 рубля. Like 3 rubles. Проезд. Next thing, it's Elena already spoke for you. It's like Sapsan. That train, it's called поезд. Поезд. Угу. Следующее у нас есть мне нужно. Мне нужно. Мне нужно is really important to remember also. Мне нужно is mean I need. Sometimes you can listen я in Russian, but here is мне нужно. Мне нужно такси. Мне нужно метро. Мне нужен банк. I need something. Or мне нужно водка. It also can be. Мне нужно. Okay? And last one is пожалуйста. That's please. We already remember. Пожалуйста, остановитесь. Остановитесь. Stop. Следующее. Да. Остановитесь. Остановитесь. To stop. Дальше у нас есть direction. The direction when we ask where is this place, where we need to go. Of course, we now have Google Translate, but maybe you'll be offline or your cell phone die, so you need to like. I'm here to help you. So, указание or direction. We have, for you will be right. Да, это право, right, and лево is left. So you can remember, left, like left, да, лево, и right, like право, like from the right. Окей. Следующее, это, например, прямо. Прямо is straight. Exactly here. Прямо, прямо, straight. So, the same sound. So, we have лево, left. We have право, right. Okay? And also we use the word находиться. Находиться is located. Например, где находится метро? Где находится ресторан? Где находится Ленин? Где находится? Where is located? Okay. And also you can make a screenshot because they have some other words that is like far, near, because will be a lot of mess in your head. So I give you the most important other you can remember. Okay. So the next. And now what is the difference between стоит и стоить? Стоить is infinitive of verb. Стоит, it's already the third person. For example, кофе стоит $3. Да, кофе стоит. It's already conjugation. As a Spanish, we have conjugation of verb for every person who makes the action. In English, we have only for he, she, it. In Russian, we have for everybody. So стоит и стоить is same word. Don't have different, just conjugation, different form. Okay. So next, it's shopping for everybody who like to shop, who goes there, buy something for your friends. Сувениры, remember souvenirs? Now souvenirs. So we need some basic thing. When you enter to shop, someone will ask you, могу ли я вам помочь? Могу ли я вам помочь? Okay, so могу ли я вам помочь is mean how can I help you? May I help you? And you can say да или нет. Нет, не хочу. I don't wanna. Или да, я хочу. Следующее. For example, you already take something and you like it, and you can say я возьму это. Да, it's like the fifth phrase. Я возьму это. I will take it. And the woman or man can ask. Что-то еще? Еще is an important word. Еще is mean more. More. For example, you will stay in a store or in a restaurant and you want more wine. So еще вина. More wine. Или еще водки. More vodka. Или еще пиццы. Еще is mean more. So they ask, что-то еще? Like something else? No. And you can say, это все. It's okay. Or you can say, нет, спасибо. No, thank you. I'm okay. Да? Next one is really important. Можно заплатить. Платить is pay. Заплатить. Можно заплатить. Like, can I pay? Кредитная карта. Да, кредитной карточкой. Да? Кредитная is credit, карта, card, credit card. Да, можно заплатить кредитной карточкой или можно кредитная карточка. Окей. Следующее. Можно заплатить наличными. Наличными. Наличными is mean cash. Да? So, карта, наличные. Okay? So, next. Так. So guys, let me know if everything is okay, if you remember something, and also you can make a screenshot. You are welcome to make a screenshot, print it, remember, memorize it, I don't know, put in your Bible, do everything that help you, and I will be really happy. So the next one is when you go to some place and you want to buy tickets. Again, who knows Spanish for you is more easy, or you know Portuguese. Bilhete, билет, tickets, билет, билет. Например, я хотел бы купить. Купить is to buy. Again, for Spanish is easy. Comprar, купить is really similar. So for you easy to remember. Купить is to buy. Да, например, я хотел бы купить. Купить что? Купить билет, купить кофе, купить пиццу, купить гамбургер. Да? Я хотел бы купить билет один, два билета или один билет детский is for children, или взрослый, but it's already advanced, so it's not so important to know. Да? Я хотел бы купить билет, already great. Or if you are a student, you can say студенческий билет, like you have student ID, so you can say студенческий, студент, да, студенческий билет. Студенческий билет. Я хочу студенческий билет. Да? Don't need to remember a lot of things. Just take some words that is really important for you. Например, я хочу $1 million. I want $1 million. So remember what you want in this life. Я хочу билет. Okay? So, я хочу билет, например, метро. Я хочу билет в театр. Я хочу билет в кино. Cinema. Кино. Okay? Everything is not so hard how it look like. Следующее. Is the last one that you'll be full in Russian. I hope you enjoy Russian food. So let me know if you know some Russian food. Maybe you already hunt for some. I think the most important is drinks, somebody think, but food is also good. So, ресторан. Restaurant. Yeah. The waiters will arrive and ask, что вы хотели бы заказать? Заказать order. Заказать. Или, or, they can ask, сколько вас будет? Сколько, again, how much, how many? Сколько вас будет? Например, it's you with your friend, да, сколько вас? 2, 1, сколько? And we have some words for the food, да? For example, закуска. Закуска. Закуска mean entry. Закуска. Да? Следующее. Основное блюдо is like main course or main dish. Основное блюдо. Гарниры, салаты. Вот вкусно. Окей, блины. Очень хорошо. Оливье салат, да. Вы знаете русскую еду. Yeah, you know Russian food? Cool. So, я бы хотел. Again, хотеть, хочу. You can also say я хочу. Like, again, я хочу $1 million. The same, я хочу пиццу. Я хочу кофе. Я хочу салат. Я хочу блины. Я хочу. Like, I want. Also, you can say меню. Меню, easy word. Меню. Меню, пожалуйста. Пожалуйста, we already know. Да, пожалуйста, mean please. Меню, пожалуйста. Кофе, пожалуйста. Бургер, пожалуйста. Салат, пожалуйста. Yeah, please. Next one, счет. Счет is mean bill. Да, счет, пожалуйста. Счет, пожалуйста. Счет, пожалуйста. Меню, пожалуйста. Again, it's words that we already remember from the last slide. Да? Пожалуйста, please, пожалуйста, you are welcome. So, пожалуйста is really important to know. Next one is really important. Some culture not use it so much, like bon appetit, have like in France, maybe Italy, Spain, I don't know. Do you use in your country bon appetit? Because in Russia we always say bon appetit or приятного аппетита. Да? Приятного аппетита. Приятного аппетита. Bon appetit. Да? Or enjoy your food. Приятного аппетита. Guys, do you have bon appetit in your country? I don't know. Maybe because in English we not say this. So I didn't recognize it, but in Russia it's really popular talk bon appetit. И следующее, это очень вкусно. Итальянцы вкусно. Вкусно is mean tasty. Это очень, очень, очень is mean very. Да, очень вкусно. Очень вкусно. Вкусно mean delicious. Вкусно. Очень вкусно. So guys, let me check if you have some questions here. Let me know if it was difficult. This is a basic word that I recommend you to know. Of course, it's really hard to learn Russian just for one travel, but if you learn some basic thing, people will be really excited that you know this. And Russian is really like talk with a foreigner that know some Russian words, and you will be really welcome if you will start talk like even some words like пожалуйста, спасибо, привет. Everything that you will learn, it will be really, really grateful for us and also will be convenient for you. So, let me check if you have some question here. In Slovak, заказать mean to forbid. Oh, okay. Interesting. Actually, some Slavic language like Slovak, Serb, I don't know, all that part of Slovenian language is really fun because for us, for Russian, some words is exactly mean different meaning, and some people believe that like Ukrainian and Russian is same. It can be, but for us, it's also difficult to understand each other sometimes. Okay. Difficult of Russian grammar is difficult because we have different things. Like for example, if in English we have the verb to be and we need to learn how they are declinate there, conjugate them. In Russian we have none that may have cases. We have adjectives that different in a gender. But if you know more than one language, especially if it's French or Spanish or Deutschman, for you will be not so hard. And forget about grammar. Sometimes we are too focused on the grammar and we forget the most important idea of the language is to understand each other. If you will say beautiful girl a little bit different way, everybody will understand. Don't worry about that. Okay, thank you guys for you be in our stream. I hope for you was useful. Let me know if you have some question or maybe you wanted to visit Russia and when you're going to do. I hope you had a great time. Elina?
Thank you so much, Alona, because that was very useful. I saw the comments, people were so impressed, and this will help really a lot if you arrive to Russia. Imagine that you are at the airport and you already will need the Russian in order to go to the city center to ask how to go to the exit of the airport, how to get to the city center, how do I book a reservation at the hotel, etc. And overall, I think this live stream is a must watch, so to say, before you go to Russia. So now you know which SIM card to buy, how to travel between cities. I also recommended you some spots in Russia except Moscow and St. Petersburg, because Russia is the biggest country, so you definitely should explore more, not only these cities, of course, because if you want to see the real Russia and to learn the real culture, of course, you have to go to other cities as well. And if you want to communicate to the locals, you want to make Russian friends, of course, you would need to know Russian, because not so many people, again, I say that, speak English, because I don't know, at our schools, we learn English for 11 years. I mean, 10 years. Okay, someone starts from the 5th grade, so it's like 7 years, but then we have the university. But for some reason, we know some grammar. Everyone knows this. London is the capital of Great Britain phrase and some other phrases, but they are too scared to speak, to practice, so a few people would speak English here, and Alena did a great job by teaching you these phrases, and she's one of the best teachers of English in Russia, and our students always say how funny she is and how entertaining the lessons are, because again, it's not this boring grammar, but everything that relates to life, and she always gives these phrases that you're definitely going to use in real life, and some idioms and phrases that only locals know, like you won't find them on internet, or you have to search very carefully, but you will impress Russians a lot. And overall, as Alena also said, if you speak at least basic Russian, not even basic, at least some phrases, Russians will get so happy because it's very rare for us to hear foreign people speak Russian. So few people learn Russian as a foreign language, so we're always so surprised to hear foreigners speak Russian, and we will be so happy, and you will be treated completely differently if you at least say several words. So yeah, you should definitely learn Russian. Again, Alena, спасибо, and thank you for joining us. Yeah, she's so cool. I love Alena. Now, I'm gonna finish our live stream, but at first I'm gonna, I think, answer some questions. And also, this live stream is open on my channel, right, for everyone. But also, I had people who registered for this live stream, and I've sent them emails with notification. And after this live stream, everyone who registered are gonna receive, oh, sorry, yeah, everyone is gonna receive a guide with top 50 phrases for travel vocabulary in Russia. Some of them will be from this live stream so that you will be able to remember better. Some of them will be new. So if you have these 50 top phrases, again, you can learn them, and then you will not have problems when traveling in Russia. I'm gonna send this guide to you by email if you registered for this stream. If you didn't, I'm sorry, I don't have your email, but I believe there were around 400 registrations. So those who registered, you're gonna receive this guide. And also we added the audio tracks for every phrase, so you will be able not only to see how it's written, but also how to pronounce it right. So you will be able to learn all these phrases. And now let's proceed to the questions. By the way, let me know in the comments if you're already learning Russian and why. Why did you decide to learn Russian? Because it's so uncommon for foreign people to learn Russian. So I'm really curious why you chose this language. And maybe you're learning also some other Slavic languages. But note that even though there is this stereotype that all the Slavs can understand each other, but actually these languages are pretty different. Russian is the closest to Ukrainian and Belarusian, but we can't understand Ukrainians sometimes, even though Ukrainians would understand Russian. So those are completely different languages. Now, what questions did you ask me? До встречи в России. It means see you in Russia. Yes, see you guys in Russia. And if you see me here in the streets, please come to me. Don't be shy. Say hi. Now, I think the Russian pronunciation is more difficult than English. It depends on which language is your native language. For Italian and for Spanish native speakers, I would say that the pronunciation would be much easier. For English speakers, probably. But for Russians, it's pretty difficult to learn English as well. I mean, the pronunciation also difficult. For example, the THs, we don't have this the sound. So English pronunciation is difficult for Russians as well. But overall, English, I would say it's an easier language than Russian because we have conjugation. In English, you say, I say, you say, they say, we say. So it's the same word, right? But for Russians, it's я говорю. Then you, ты говоришь, so the ending changes. Они говорят, and the conjugation is different. Grazie Loretta, certamente sarà come dici tu, ma l'alfabeto è completamente diverso come anche la pronuncia. L'inglese e il francese sono molto più semplici. I would say that French is difficult for Russian speakers because of this R sound, merci, this R, very difficult. But Italian, I would say, is not that difficult for Russians in terms of pronunciation. So for Italian language native speakers, the Russian pronunciation shouldn't be difficult. How can I receive this guide? I'm gonna send it to everyone who registered. Just give me some time to finish this stream, and then I'm gonna send it to you. And I will also try to make to save the recording of this stream because I think that it was so full of information. And again, thank you to Alona because the vocabulary she gave is super useful if you come to Russia. I hope that you made the screenshots and if you memorize those words and also the guide that I sent. And if you join our Russian speaking club, that will be so much fun and you're gonna learn Russian in this entertaining and interesting way. So I know people from Ukraine and Russia, and it's not fair that they speak English and I don't speak Russian, so this is why I started to learn. Yeah, I would say that now most Russians learn English from childhood, as well as Ukrainians, and I think this is an international thing. But again, as I say, they learn it, but it's difficult for them to start speaking. Like, we learn the grammar and everything, but for some reason, when it comes to talking to real international people, it's difficult for Russians. And don't make the same mistake if you're learning Russian. Don't wait for some moment when you're so perfect in the language and you don't make any mistakes and think that then in some time you're gonna start speaking perfectly. No, you have to start speaking from the very, very beginning. You have to start practicing, because if you're listening to music, reading to the books, learning grammar, probably watch movies in that language that you're learning, but you don't speak, it's all only about passive learning. So in order to start speaking, you need to practice the active vocabulary. Otherwise, everything is in your passive knowledge, and the only way to start speaking is to practice speaking. And that's what we do in our club with voice messages, with speaking sessions. Some students say that they're shy to speak to other participants, but I think that's the whole point of the speaking club. You have to speak. If you want to learn speaking, you go to the speaking club. Already learning Russian in New York, there is plenty of Russian people, and it's very interesting to learn new cultures. Yeah, I know that in New York City, there is this area named Brighton Beach, and there are so many Ukrainians and Russians. Actually, I lived in the US and I went to New York City, and yeah, so if you go to Brighton Beach, you will be able to see the signs, menus, everything will be in Russian, lots of Russians. So just go there and practice Russian. Very easy for those who live in New York City. Il russo come la matematica sembra difficile, ma quando hai capito come funziona viene da sé. Yeah, if you once understand the logic of the language, it won't be that difficult to you. Don't try just to learn everything word by word and to, how is it called in English, like cram every single word. Just try to understand the logic of the language, and then it will be easier for you to speak it and you will not forget it. Un po' di greco, so many Italians here, I didn't know that. Un po' di greco l'ho studiato, può darsi che un giorno lo imparerò. So the Greek alphabet should be similar to the Russian one, I believe, some letters, so it shouldn't be difficult to learn Russian for those who learned the Greek. I want to learn a new language, experience a new culture in another country, and Russia seems like the place to challenge myself going for my gap year there. Yeah, I think it's a great idea to do some gap year in Russia. I studied at Rudan University, which is the most international university in Russia, and there were so many students from Italy, Spain, Germany, from the US. I've never met anyone from the US actually, but many students from Africa, Asia, France, yeah, many European countries, etc. And they all really enjoyed. And you can go not only to Moscow, but also to Tomsk, which is a city of students. And there are so many universities and famous Tomsk University. You can also go to Kazan. So you will be able to experience real Russia outside of Moscow. And also those cities would be so much cheaper. So if there is some budget problem, you can go not to Moscow but to other cities. But in Moscow as well, you will get a place at the dormitory. My last video was about dormitories in Russia, and you saw that dormitories cost like $60 per month. You can find dorms for $30, but I would advise you to go to not to the cheapest ones, because in the cheapest ones there might be dirty or too many people in the room, and I think that $60 is not that expensive, so you can pay more but get the better place for living. My family heritage is Ukrainian, interesting, and Russian, but I was born in Canada and no family speaks the family old languages anymore. This is why I would like to learn. Yeah, I think knowing the language of your ancestors is really important, so why not? And plus, learning a new language is always so much fun. I just have this hobby to learn languages. Now I learn Italian, and everyone tells me, why do you learn Italian when this language is spoken in the only country of the world? And I'm like, because I like it, because I like learning languages, because through a language you can open a new culture for yourself. If you speak the local language, it's a completely different experience in another country. Believe me. And this is so cool. Studia il russo, difficilissimo ti consiglio di farlo con una madrelingua perché da soli è davvero complicato. So she says that it's better to learn Russian with a native speaker, and I think that it's true because in Russia there are so many nuances that only a native speaker knows. So yeah, I would completely agree with that. Someone says in Russian, я изучаю русский язык, потому что я студент-иностранец. That they learn Russian because he is a foreign student here. Good luck. I'm hoping to come to Moscow in September. I'm nervous and excited at the same time. Every Russian I meet try to speak Russian. Too is excited that I'm trying to. Yes, as I said, if you say at least several words, even if you say привет, which is hi, they will already get excited and say, wow, you speak Russian. Okay, learning from Brazil. Nice. Are you planning to come to Russia from Brazil? By the way, you wouldn't need a visa for 90 days, and Russians also don't need a visa to go to Brazil. Is it possible to get a scholarship without knowing Russian? Yes, but that would be more difficult. But if you... Oh, actually, yeah, you can get a scholarship if you don't speak Russian, but then you will have 1 year where you learn Russian, and then your whole program of studies will be in Russian. So you learn Russian for 1 year, and then you study a program. Of course, there are some English programs, but I'm not sure about scholarships. All the international students that I talked to, they took this year where they learned Russian, and then they studied, and everything was for free, like with a scholarship. Is traveling to Russia comfortable for persons with disability? I mean, accessible for disabled persons. That's a problem in Russia. Actually, I would say even in Moscow. So I didn't notice this before my friend from the UK told me that in Russia there is no possibilities, like opportunities for disabled people. And yeah, I noticed that buses or some other places are not equipped for wheelchairs, for example. Of course, some places are, but not so many. But Russia is improving now, especially after 2018, when the World Cup FIFA was held here. After that year, it became much better, and it's still improving the situation. So, if you speak Italian, you will get discounts in Italian restaurants? Interessante. Okay. I don't know if you're gonna get discounts in Russia if you speak Russian, but you will get really great attitude from everyone. Only yesterday I met this guy from Cameroon, and we went to a cafe in Russia, and he spoke Russian, and he speaks so good, and he knows how to joke, how to make jokes in Russian. And the waiter, she fell in love with him. There is a Russian language bookstore in Brighton Beach. And Brighton Beach, I think there is everything which is related to Ukraine and Russia: restaurants, cafes, and so many Russians. Yeah, what book would you recommend to someone who is starting to read? So I have a video about 5 books that you should start if you want to get to know the Russian literature, and those are like the most famous and must read books, because those are Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, yeah, and their most famous works, and I think everyone from any country should read these books, because that's the world's heritage. But start reading, you can start with fairy tales or some short stories. Actually, in our Russian speaking club, we do that. We learn the excerpts and fairy tales. I speak Slovak and Russian, but I want Slovak and Russian. I would say they have something in common, but still not so much. So yeah, you have to learn Russian as a foreigner anyways. But I want my husband to learn Slavic language. He's American. He is very interested and loves our Slavic cultures. Okay, next video in Russian. I'm not sure if I want to make videos in Russian on my channel, because I think that the audience will be confused, and that's not that a big part of my audience that would watch videos in Russian, I believe. Let me know what you think about that. Of course, I'm gonna make subtitles, but I'm still not sure that many people would like to read the subtitles and watch a video in Russian. Even though it would be so easy for me to make a video in the Russian language, because I'm still learning English. Yeah, I took my certificate of IELTS and English, which was level C1, but I still think that I have lots of room for improvement. Okay, for 3 more minutes, okay, I'm gonna answer your questions and then I will Malay. I tried to learn Vietnamese. I really loved it. Actually, I'm in love with the Vietnamese culture because I was a foreign teacher. I taught English in Vietnam. I lived there for 7 months. I was supposed to live there for a year, maybe more, but the corona started, so I couldn't. Okay, thank you everyone for joining this stream. I hope that it was useful. Please let me know what other topics I should make streams about. Everyone have a great day or a good night. Again, I know that we're very international here, so the time zone is different for everyone. I really enjoyed this stream, spending time in this international atmosphere. Actually, I really love my YouTube channel because I have these possibilities to connect to so many people from all over the world, and I'm so happy that there are so many people who are truly interested in the Russian culture and Russian language. I was really surprised, and yeah, I would be so happy to see you in our club, to have fun with you, to discuss more topics. And yeah, I will do my best to create more videos, more interesting videos on different topics in Russia. You can also comment if I manage to save this live stream. You will be able to comment what other topics I should make videos about, what other topics should I make live streams about. This was my first live stream. I'm pretty nervous, actually, a bit shy, and this is not usual for me to make a live stream because I'm not used to this very fast connection with the audience, because usually it's me making a video, then editing it, and I can upload my video in a month, in 2 months. Sometimes I forget about some video that I filmed and I upload it in 3 months or something. Very bad. I'm a procrastinator with editing. I like filming, but I procrastinate with editing. Anyways, I really enjoyed this time. I hope that you did too. And bye-bye, пока-пока, and hope to see you soon, maybe in Russia. Bye-bye, guys.